Forget everything you think you know about Boruto. This isn't a story about Naruto's son following in his father's footsteps or simply becoming Hokage. It's a story about identity, destiny, and the power he may never fully control. From the very first chapter of the manga, we saw the haunting flash forward of Boruto and Kawaki standing over a ruined Konoha, scars marking their faces and the village in flames, a moment that has haunted fans for years. Kawaki warns that the shinobi era is ending, and Boruto responds with a defiant, "I'm still a ninja," a line that feels both brave and ominous, because the manga has spent the last several arcs building towards that inevitable confrontation. Not just with external enemies, but with the cosmic and personal forces shaping Boruto's life. The heart of the story lies in karma, the seal Momoshiki implanted in Boruto, which was never meant to be a simple power-up but a ticking time bomb of identity overwriting, slowly turning Boruto into a vessel for an Otsutsuki god. As the manga progresses, particularly in the recent 2 Blue Vortex arc, Boruto begins to consciously use karma in battle, absorbing chakra, enhancing his abilities, and even manifesting attacks reminiscent of Otsutsuki powers. Every activation edges him closer to losing his humanity, something Naruto never had to face. Unlike Naruto, who gained his strength through bonds, determination, and the mastery of his own body, Boruto must constantly negotiate with a power inside him that has its own agenda, while also facing enemies that could literally erase entire portions of the ninja world. Aoki's presence intensifies this struggle. He's Boruto's foil, rival, and mirror, simultaneously pushing him towards extremes while offering the closest thing Boruto has to friendship and understanding. Their relationship is far more complex than Naruto and Sasuke's because while Sasuke's choices were often about revenge or ideology, Kawaki's influence is intimately tied to Boruto's own survival and his very sense of self, creating a tension where any decision could tilt Boruto towards salvation or catastrophe. But Boruto's story isn't just about external threats or mystical powers. The manga demonstrates, especially in the last chapters 29 and 30, that the world itself is shifting. Konoha faces not only Mamoshi and Divine Tree clones, but also internal political tension, moral dilemmas, and situations that force the younger generation of shinobi to confront choices with life and death stakes. In Chapter 30, for example, Boruto is forced to consider strategic and moral decisions under extreme pressure while his friends like Inojin and Shikadai face situations that challenge their understanding of the ninja code. This isn't the clear-cut heroic world Naruto grew up in. This is a morally gray environment where actions have consequences that are impossible to fully anticipate, reflecting a much more physiologically and emotionally intense story. Boruto's growth in these chapters signals that the narrative is pushing him towards not just mastering his powers, but understanding what it truly means to lead and to protect, all while resisting the part of himself that Karma and Momoshiki would claim. His abilities are growing, but so are the stakes, and every choice he makes echoes the prophecy we glimpsed in Chapter 1. The destroyed Konoha isn't just a future battle scene, it's a warning of what could happen if Boruto fails to balance power, morality, and identity. Parallels with Naruto are striking precisely because Boruto's journey is the opposite in some ways. Naruto faced hatred and external struggles, whereas Boruto faces internal battles, cosmic forces, and the literal rewriting of his identity. His rivalry and bond with Kawaki underscores this. Kawaki represents survival, trauma, and the cold pragmatism Boruto lacks, while Boruto represents ideals, compassion, and hope. The two forces are intertwined, and as fans speculate, one could tip the other over the edge, with consequences that might not just reshape their lives, but the entire shinobi world. Fan theories have been exploding over the last several chapters. Some argue Boruto could fully awaken karma and transform into a vessel capable of altering ninja world itself. Others believe Kawaki may catalyze the tipping point that forces Boruto to confront the darkness inside him, and yet others suggest that the shinobi system itself would collapse, leaving Boruto and Kawaki as the only ones capable of defining a new era. What makes all of this terrifying is that the story is not only about power, it's about choice, morality, and identity. Boruto must navigate a world where every battle, every decision, and every use of karma carries weight, and where failing to act or acting too harshly could erase the world he's trying to protect. Even subtle moments in recent manga chapters like Boruto's tactical decisions in battle or his attempts to guide and protect his friends emphasize that his greatest challenge might not be an external enemy at all, but holding on to who he is, while the universe tries to overwrite him. In essence, Boruto's story is a terrifyingly reimagining of what it means to inherit a legacy. Unlike Naruto, who fought with the clarity of his ideals, Boruto must fight while negotiating the destiny imposed by forces beyond his control, the bonds he cherishes and the power that could ultimately consume him. Boruto's increasing mastery of karma, his growing awareness of the consequences of his actions, and his complex relationship with Kawaki all point towards a future that is as unpredictable as it is ominous. Every arc from the Chunin exams to the Vessel arc, the Momoshiki confrontation, and now the Two Blue Vortex builds towards this terrifying culmination, illustrating that Boruto's destiny is not just a path to greatness, but a tightrope walk above destruction itself. Is this tension, the knowledge that the hero we cheer for is also teetering on the edge of something he might not survive emotionally or spiritually, that makes Boruto's journey so compelling and terrifying, and why fans continue to theorize, debate, and obsess over every panel? In short, Boruto is not merely Naruto's son. He's a new kind of shinobi, one whose story asks the question, can a person survive a destiny that is almost certainly designed to override them, and if so, at what cost? His path is unpredictable. His powers are extraordinary, and the stakes, both personal and global, have never been higher. Boruto's destiny isn't what anyone expected, and that is precisely what makes it terrifying. That's my take on Boruto and the direction of his story. Please let me know what you think. And if there's another anime, character, series, or even something totally unexpected that you want analyzed next, comment it below. I'm always looking for new deep dives. See you in the next video. Bye.